Hello everyone, this is Spliced, and today I will be comparing both the Oni Mantis and the Hannibal Mantis. Despite them both being mantises, with the same movement speed and armor, they have quite significant differences, so I'll be getting into that. But first, I'm going to start off with the Oni Mantis. The Oni Mantis is a 7-rec ground vehicle with a chain gun as its primary and missile launcher as its secondary. The missile launcher can lock on to any target, and this is pretty good because you can simply lock onto enemies and let the rockets do the rest of the work. However, if they're near cover, they can simply go behind it, or if it's a fast-moving vehicle, the rockets might have a hard time curving and keeping up with the enemy. So you gotta be more wary with when to shoot these rockets rather than just fire them immediately, unless if you're 100% certain that they will take down the enemies. However, if an enemy is approaching you, the best thing to do is to just fire them immediately. If you try to lock on, it will not work. Secondly, it has a shield, but the shield is not really as powerful as the Banshee. It's kind of low defense, so it's more for taking an initial shot, but anything after that it's going to take a lot of damage. This vehicle is not really the best armored, so you require the Wheelman perk to make this thing able to survive a lot of hits, despite it also being a ground vehicle as well. So the downside to this thing is the chain gun mostly. I don't really know why, but the regular Mantis and the Court Mantis, in comparison to all the other Mantises, have a much better accurate chain gun and startup time compared to all the other Mantises that isn't the Hannibal. All the variants and the Oni have a much faster startup time, which means that the spread of the gun increases exponentially, and because of that, the accuracy gets very bad very quickly. So the chain gun is really bad for taking down enemies. It's really only meant for finishing off enemies, and taking down an enemy is very hard unless if you have it on a concentrated long amount of time. It will not really do any damage at all. It's pretty much equivalent to the Wasp's chain gun at 7 recs, which is pretty terrible. On top of that, the reload time for the rocket launchers is a bit slow. It does take quite a lot of time for it to regenerate. So after you fire the rocket launcher, you're pretty much out of weapons until it comes back, because the damage of the chain gun is just so low on this Oni Mantis. But that's what I have to say about the Oni Mantis. Moving on to the Hannibal Mantis, this vehicle has a really good shield. It has an upgraded shield, but a little bit less armor than the Oni Mantis, so you want to rely more on keeping your shield up. But that shouldn't be too much of a deal since it has quite a high shield. It's a very powerful shield. I think more than the Banshee as well. On top of this, it does not have lock-on capability. However, the rockets do fire very fast, at fast speeds, and also it has a much faster reload time for its rocket launcher, so you can get back into taking down enemies and vehicles a lot better. It does not have lock-on capabilities to Spartans. However, it does have a very good lock-on time for vehicles, air vehicles and ground vehicles. So in conjunction with its fast shooting capability and reload time, it can take down vehicles and Spartans even without the lock-on capability very easily. On top of that, it has a very long-range Gauss railgun type chain gun. Instead of bullets, it shoots lasers. And what makes this so special is that it has the ability to shoot even though it does not have aim assist on. You can still take down enemies at a fair distance, which is very helpful. These ground vehicles really rely on distance to take out their enemies, because if you're up close, they can take you down with so many things, especially since they're ground vehicles. They're very vulnerable to a lot of things. Because of this, all these significant upgrades, the Hannibal Mantis just completely storms over the Oni Mantis. Unfortunately, the Oni Mantis just doesn't have the power that it needs to take out the enemies at this rec level. The Hannibal Mantis has what it has going for it to be able to survive enough and also be able to deal the damage out front to make up for its wreck cost and being a ground vehicle. The Oni Mantis's lock-on capability is very good, but it just doesn't have a good reload time, and when you fire those rockets, you're out of options for taking out enemies until it reloads. I would comment on the Stomp Attack, but both Mantis's Stomp is very, very terrible if you know that when you stomp, the enemy can take you down from the front from boarding you, so I'm not going to say anything about that. But that's just all I gotta say about these two Mantises. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. I won't die.